Good evening and welcome to Sports Night in Auburn. I'm Mary Leigh Oliver.
And I'm Brendan McLaughlin. Tonight, we have a recap of Auburn's loss at Georgia, details on how they will improve moving forward, and information on baseball, golf, and more. Auburn traveled to Athens this weekend with high hopes, but ultimately fell short. The Tigers fell to the Bulldogs 27-6 and struggled on both sides of the ball. Auburn fell behind early when Georgia scored a touchdown in the first quarter and then topped it off with a field goal in their next drive, giving the Dogs a 10-0 lead over Auburn. Bo Nix and the Tigers' offense struggled all through the first half, getting only 5 first downs. While the Tigers struggled, the Bulldogs' offense kept rolling. They then scored 2 unanswered touchdowns, making the score 24-0 late in the second quarter. Kicker Anders Carlson helped the Tigers avoid a shutout at half by making a 20-yard field goal, giving the Tigers 3 points on the board.
While the Tigers' defense stepped up their game in the second half, the offense continued to struggle. Anders Carlson made another field goal in the third quarter, and that would be the end of the Tigers' scoring plays. Auburn held the Bulldogs to just 3 points in the second half, making the final score 27-6. Georgia quarterback Stetson Bennett had 240 yards and 1 touchdown. Georgia running back Zamir White had 19 carries for 88 yards and 2 touchdowns, and wide receiver George Pickens had 2 catches for 26 yards and 1 touchdown. Bo Nix had 177 passing yards with 1 interception. Nix failed to execute all night as he went 21-40. Nix's interception was his first one since Auburn's loss to LSU last season. Auburn's lone superstar Saturday was freshman Tank Bigsby, being the go-to man most of the night. Bigsby led Auburn in rushing with 31 yards and receiving with 68 yards. Auburn totaled just 39 rushing yards and 177 receiving yards.
Bo Nix spoke after the game, saying how talented Georgia was and how they beat them in all aspects. He said the game was very fast and takes the blame for missed passes and bad throws.
Well, anytime you find yourself down 21 points, really that quickly in the game is not a good way to start. And, we just tried to come out in the second half and throw all our bullets at them and throw the ball around a little bit. And we had some successful drives, and then we just stalled. Georgia was a really good team, and we knew they were going to be a good team coming in. We knew we were going to have to play really good, and they played about just as good as they could play, and we played about as worse as we could play, and it showed on the field. If you give, a good team, good players a year to kind of continue to develop, they're just going to be better than what they were last year. And I thought, they had a really good plan for us. They came and they played hard, and that's all that was really a difference in the game. No, I thought overall the game was very fast, and I thought they did a really good job of, having a great plan for us, and they're a really good defense, and we knew they were going to bring some pressure. I made some pitiful throws and missed a bunch of guys out there tonight, and I'm never going to blame a receiver. I thought they were doing the best they could, and they were going up and getting it. Seth had 2 close ones, that were bang plays at any other time that he makes, and I'm never going to pin it on him. And drops are part of the game, and I missed more throws than they had drops, so that's unacceptable from my part.
Auburn head coach Gus Malzahn spoke Sunday afternoon, saying his team will grow and get more experienced each week. He believes there is still plenty of time to turn the season around. He stresses the importance of not getting behind and having to play catch-up, and the importance of moving on and improving.
We're going to learn from this experience. We're an inexperienced team. We're going to grow each week, and we'll improve. And so the biggest thing when something like a game like that happens is you got to learn from it. You got to put it behind you and move on. Well, we talked last 2 weeks about trying to settle in a 5, and I think we'll be able to do that. I think the big thing last night is, we got behind and kind of had to be in catch-up mode, and they were making us one-dimensional, and anytime you do that, it's extremely tough. They're very talented up front, and they've got some very good pass rushers, and so that's really what happened, specifically, from late second quarter on. Bo created a lot of things, when things broke down, he made some plays. But, we just got to do a better job of being balanced and running the football and then throwing the football, and that made us one-dimensional, and that made it extremely tough. So we really expected Tank to carry a big load, and we were real pleased the way he responded, specifically with his first game. He caught the ball, made some really good catches out of the backfield, and I thought he protected pretty good, and then he ran the ball hard, so I really think he's in a good spot, and it was good to get him work, to create more depth in that running back room. Yeah, no, there's no doubt. I mean, they had a big win, and so they'll definitely be confident and give it their best, and we will too. So it should be a good one.
Auburn's plan moving forward is to put this game behind them and focus on the remainder of the season. Up next, the Tigers will face the Arkansas Razorbacks at Jordan-Hare Stadium this Saturday. Auburn is expecting Arkansas to bring lots of energy into the game as they are coming off a big win against Mississippi State, who beat the national champions LSU the week before. Malzahn is excited for his team to be back home and is hoping the home game atmosphere will pump up the team.
First of all, we're glad to be back home. Like I said, the week 1 atmosphere was really good, and really looking forward to being back home. Looking at Arkansas, they had a huge, really a big-time win against a ranked team on the road. Very impressive when you watch them on film. We're going to practice and practice with a mindset that we got to improve. Our guys understand that. They'll come in here ready to play. Their head coach, Sam Pittman's doing a great job. He's got his team playing very well, playing with great passion, and so we're expecting to get their best. Like I said, overall, playing a team that's coming off a big win, and but we're glad to be back home and to get to try to get back on track. Looking at this 10-game SEC schedule.
Auburn players are looking forward to facing off against their Arkansas Razorbacks in this weekend's game. After Auburn's tough loss on the road to the Georgia Bulldogs, the team is focused, and teammates Nick Brahms and Owen Papo both have plans for improvement. Brahms, Auburn's starting center, talked about reviewing their past mistakes and moving on. He praises his team and how they are fighters for themselves and Auburn.
Yeah, we reviewed the film, corrected mistakes, went over corrections in practice, did that kind of stuff, and now we're moving on to Arkansas, studying them, making sure that we know exactly what they're going to do this week and use it to our strengths as the offensive line. So I would say we're moving on and we're focused on Arkansas. Yeah, I've been real happy. These guys are tough, man. We're not going to let anything. We're not going to fold. That's the big thing. I think a lot of people who would have been in our situation would have folded. I mean, we've got tough guys. We've got fighters, man. And we're going to fight for Auburn. We're going to fight for this program and our coaches and each other. And so I think that's what we're doing. We're rallying together, man. We're grouping together, and we're looking forward to the rest of the season. We're going to let Georgia beat us twice. I would say it's definitely personal for him. And so in that matter, we're playing for him. We're playing for each other, man. I love that guy. I love Chad Morris, man. Coach Morris is awesome, and I'm going to play for him. I'm going to play hard for him, and I think everybody is, honestly, because nobody takes him for granted because he's a great person. He's a great man. He's a great coach, and so we're all going to, this is his former team that he's head coach for, so we're going to play hard for him. Yeah, I talked to Quell after the Georgia game. Mark Quell. I've talked to Mike and Jack, all those guys, Tega. They just gave us all, they just told us to keep going, man. Everybody's going to be honest. We already know that, and it's just like we got to tune out the noise, and we just got to focus on ourselves and make ourselves better and then prove it to everyone that we can do it, because I know we can, and I know this team can. Maybe some people don't, but I know we can, because I've been out there. I've been out there with those guys, and so we're really rallying. We're ready for Arkansas, by the end of this week. So.
Owen Papo, a sophomore linebacker, mentions how important it is to fix their mistakes and praises KJ Britt for his hard work and dedication.
A lot of things throughout the whole game, not even just third down, was just the little things throughout everybody's assignments. So just looking at the small details and everything, making sure everybody's in their gap, right, leverage on coverage, things like that, just sharpening up on that. But like I said, we're going to make sure we get all that corrected. I'm actually really proud of everybody. Like we all know, like our performance Saturday wasn't Auburn football to the standard that we should have played at. But we're looking past that, it's behind us now, and we looking at it to just learn from the mistakes that we made to make sure that we don't have a bust like that again. Man, that's a dog, man. I got a lot of respect for KJ. Just him fighting through the pain that whole entire game. Because most guys they would have just came off if it was something small, just to get out of that. But KJ got a lot of heart and he played through it, man. And he's gonna get better. I think they got I think they look better than what they have in the past few years. Definitely better from last year. They got a new quarterback in Felipe Franks. He's a really talented guy, and I think he's brought that offense together and got those guys to play hard and play together. So I think it's going to be a pretty good game for us, and we're going to have to give them all we got because I know we're going to get their best shot.
The Tigers are set to take on the Arkansas Razorbacks at Jordan-Hare Stadium this Saturday at 3 p.m. Central Time. Like the last home game, students are being admitted into Jordan-Hare but must sit within their assigned color zones and enter through their assigned gate. There will be orange chairbacks again in groups of 2 or 4 to enforce social distancing. All spectators and staff must wear facial coverings and students must show their green screen from GuideSafe.
After 2 weeks of SEC play, let's see how the Southeastern Conference is ranked in the AP poll. Alabama still holds the highest spot in the SEC teams, showing up at number 2 this week, following a dominant win over Texas A&M. Georgia holds the number 3 slot after beating Auburn 27-6. Florida is close behind at number 4. Following a big loss to Georgia, the Auburn Tigers fell to number 13 this week after being 7 last week. The Tennessee Volunteers are close behind at number 14 following a win over Missouri. LSU is number 17 this week, jumping from 20 last week. And Texas A&M holds it down for the SEC at spot number 21.
When we come back, we will look at baseball's practice protocols, details on how golf is doing in their most recent tournament, and soccer's next game. Keep it right here. You're watching Sports Night in Auburn. Men and women's golf started their season this week, playing in the Blessings Collegiate Invitational in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Both men and women's teams are having strong performances. After starting the day in 10th place, the Auburn men's golf team used a 3-under round to move into 8th overall at 12 over after the second round of the Blessings Collegiate Invitational Tuesday. The Tigers were one of 3 teams to shoot below par rounds at the Par 72 Blessings Golf Club, joining Alabama and Mississippi State. Each Tiger improved their second round card from their first by at least 2 strokes. The team racked up 14 birdies spread evenly across the front and back 9. Senior Andrew Kozan is tied for 4th at 3 under. He had a team best of 6 birdies, including 3 of his final 4 holes, and was under par in both the front and back 9. Other notable performances have been C.J. Easley, who shot the second lowest round of the day by an Auburn golfer, tying a team-high 14 pars. J.M. Butler also had a strong day, shooting an eagle on the 15th hole. Auburn began the final round of the Blessings Collegiate Invitational Wednesday at 7:40 a.m. Central, beginning on the back 9.
The women's team is also having a strong performance at the Blessings Collegiate Invitational. Auburn women's golf sits at 7th place after a strong performance during the second day of play. For the second consecutive day, the Tigers finished at 12 over. The team is only 3 shots behind 4th place ahead of the third and final round of the Invitational. Head coach Melissa Llewellyn said, "We made a few more putts today, but a little more trouble, too. It is helpful to see all 5 play at the same time to be able to watch every shot while in competition. This is rare for a coach. I'm proud of the team as they are fighting for every shot. We're saving the best day for the last day." Strong performances from Auburn include Michael O'Berry, who finished the second round with a team best of 73. O'Berry has made 23 pars through the first 2 rounds, tying her for 3rd among all players. Tied for 8th overall, O'Berry is the only Auburn player in the top 10 individual standings. Juniors Julie McCarthy and Kaylee Telfer also contributed to Auburn's success. McCarthy shot a 74, while Telfer shot a 75. McCarthy barely sits outside the top 10, as she's tied for 11th overall. Telfer is currently tied for 14th overall. The final round began Wednesday morning at 7:45 a.m.
Guidelines have been announced for the Auburn baseball fall practice schedule in order to remain consistent with the current SEC health and safety guidelines. Practices and scrimmages will be closed to the public and media, but head coach Butch Thompson and select players will be available to speak with the media on a weekly basis via Zoom. Auburn baseball is set to begin their fall practices and scrimmages on Tuesday, October 13th. Updates to health and safety guidelines will be provided when they become available, as Auburn Athletics remains focused on providing a safe and healthy environment.
Auburn's scheduled soccer game against Ole Miss has been moved to October 13th at 4 p.m., as announced by the SEC on Tuesday. The game, originally scheduled for October 11th, will still be played at home at the Auburn Soccer Complex. The matchup can be seen on SEC Network Plus. The Tigers have had 2 straight matches postponed due to COVID-19 and are working on rescheduling those trips to Texas A&M and LSU. Next Tuesday will mark the team's first game since the season opener on Friday, September 18th.
The Auburn men's tennis team began their season with a doubles win as well as 2 singles wins this past Sunday at the Yarborough Tennis Center at the Tiger Fall Invitational. The visiting opponents included the University of Florida, University of Alabama, Vanderbilt University, and Ole Miss. Tyler Stice and freshman Jackson Ross were the doubles champions, picking up a crucial win for the Tigers. Stice, a former SEC Player of the Week in his rookie season, and Ross, a top 20 recruit nationally in his class, went 3-0 in the doubles during the weekend. Despite not winning the single championship, Auburn did have 2 singles wins. Freshman Maxwell Giddens, the #1 recruiting prospect in 2020 in the state of Alabama, topped University of Alabama's Marcelo Sepulveda Garza in 3 sets, and sophomore Finn Murgett edged Alabama's Alexei Nestorov by a 6-1 score.
For Week 4 of the NFL, Auburn players are continuing to shine in the professional spotlight. Derek Brown had 2 tackles, including a tackle for a loss to help the Carolina Panthers defeat the Arizona Cardinals. Brown now has 7 tackles and 4 tackles for a loss over the last 2 weeks. Daniel Carlson continues to be spot on for the Las Vegas Raiders. He made all 3 of his field goals, including a 54-yarder in the first quarter. Through 4 weeks of NFL play, Carlson has racked up 39 total points. Carlton Davis sealed the win for the Buccaneers when he intercepted Justin Herbert in the closing minutes of the game. It was his 2nd interception of the season.
Wide receiver Darius Slayton has 3 catches on Sunday, totaled for 48 yards. He led the Giants in receiving yards and tops the team this season with 15 catches and 236 yards. Former Auburn quarterback Jarrett Stidham played Monday night for the New England Patriots. Cam Newton was out because of COVID-19, and although Stidham didn't start, he came in the game in the 4th quarter and threw his first NFL touchdown pass. Stidham and Newton are the first former Auburn players to throw a touchdown pass for the same NFL team in the same season. That's all for Sports Night in Auburn. But for more Auburn sports, head to our website, eagleeyeauburn.com, where we'll have everything you need to know to stay up to date on all things Auburn sports. I'm Mary Leigh Oliver.
And I'm Brendan McLaughlin. For even more sports, follow our Twitter at @EE_sports and follow our Instagram at EagleEyeTV. Good night and War Eagle.